Dr. Lemansky, how are you, brother?
Good, Dave. I don't see you though.
Uh,
I don't know if everybody else can see you. I see myself, which is horrible.
shit, man. I'm not sure what's
Is your
going on.
is your video button clicked? There you
Yeah,
go.
it's
All
on.
right, now I see you. All right, we're
All right,
good.
cool. All right,
All right.
technical difficulties, everybody. We are back. Dr. Lemansky and I just came back from Orlando, and we were at the Biohacking Conference, Dave Asprey's Biohacking Conference. Always a really exciting event because there's all of the cutting edge, latest and greatest there, really pushing limits on health optimization and biohacking. John, I've been at this conference since Dave Asprey's very, very first event. His first event was in
Mhm.
San Francisco in the Tenderloin. It was at a small hotel. There was like 30 of us there. And that was, I think, 2012, maybe 2013. He had his first event. Again, 30 people max, bunch of people testing all kinds of crazy gear. Fast forward to present day, there's, I don't know, 2 or 3 thousand people there, and it's at the Hyatt in Orlando, and the whole industry just continues to get more exciting and more fun. So Heads Up was there. We had a booth. We got to speak to everyone at the show. We got to learn about all the new products. So John and I are going to break down our top 10 findings from this year's conference. But before we get into that, John, do you want to just maybe do a recap from your experience at the event? Any just high level
Yeah,
points you want to emphasize for people?
yeah. I've been to a few of them. The last one I think was it's been a while, so 2000 maybe 19 before the pandemic. It's definitely grown significantly. I would say that, obviously the space, in terms of like the alternative wellness space has grown significantly. I think that, I mean, my takeaway from that conference specifically, especially as like a physician who's dealing with a lot of kind of sicker individuals, it's kind of refreshing to see people really trying to get on top of their health before they see somebody like me. So I go away from those conferences as like a practitioner, super motivated. As an individual, I think it's cool to see all the devices, but also talk to people who have a lot of different experiences because a lot of times in like standard medicine, you're just going by whatever the protocols are, the standard
Yep.
of care, and you're missing, I would say, significant amount of healing potential. And again, I think you differentiate the two, wellness and sick care. So like I get much more motivated being around people who are trying to prevent health issues than treat it after the fact. Now, obviously, that's not everybody. I mean, a lot of people have health issues, and that's why they're doing a lot of biohacks. But it's really motivating. I think the production was stellar. The people I met were amazing, and then I know we'll talk about it a little bit, but I really was excited to see how many people in the traditional space are trying to get over to like the wellness prevention space, which obviously we fit a really good niche for that.
Yep. Absolutely.
But I think more people are seeing the benefit of kind of bridging over to this space. So it was great. I mean, I had a great time.
Yeah, it was cool to see. We spoke to a lot of MDs that came by the booth who were looking
Hmm.
to start health and wellness practices either in parallel to their conventional practice or cutting over completely and launching a
Yeah.
concierge health practice, which will do traditional medicine plus all of the health optimization stuff. We also saw a lot of companies come by the booth who are opening biohacking facilities. And
Hmm.
what that means to me is some of the equipment there is hundreds of thousands of dollars per machine. It's just inaccessible to most of us. But as these centers open up, you can just buy a monthly membership and go get access to millions of dollars of equipment. We're going to
Hmm.
talk about some of those machines. So that was the second pattern, was more biohacking facilities opening, and they're making this really expensive technology more affordable and more accessible. I am looking forward to seeing one of those closer to my home, especially that has some of the stuff we're going to talk about today. So that was the second trend. A lot of really innovative supplement companies out there bringing
Hmm.
powerful nutraceuticals to market. We've got a few we're going to talk about here. And then, John, just a couple of our top partners that we've already had on our podcast that our customers already know and love that we'll highlight here. So why don't I share my screen and we'll go through
Okay,
our top 10 from the
sounds
Biohacking
good.
Conference. Here we go. Stand by. So first was just the conference itself. Looks
Yep.
like next year is going to be in Dallas. So that'll be a first time I think they're having it in Dallas. But this was the event. It's Dave Asprey's conference. I've been following Asprey since 2011, 2012. He's the one that got me
Hmm.
hooked on all of the health optimization stuff. So just cool to see this thing keep growing and building. It was a great event, fun parties, good energy, smart people, cool tech. So it's always a really, really great show for us. First one,
You know, it's
John.
funny. Just going back to that. I mean, I remember kind of. I also started following him, and I started kind of my own biohacking journey. I mean, a long time ago, but I remember him coming to the scene. At the time, though, it was more of kind of the really weird biohackers who were trying to do like kind of genetic modification, really weird. Yeah, and now it's kind of morphed into more of like biohacking for health and healing, which I think is more applicable to most people. So I like the trend that it's gone to.
Agreed. On that vein, John. So plunge. These what I
Yep.
love about the plunge is that there's a number of companies in the space here. There's Morosco Forge, who we know and love. There's Plunge. This was the company at the event this year. So we
Mhm.
wanted to just call out the ability to get access to cold therapy. And these units are now, I think, in the $5,000 ballpark. Last year at this time,
Yep.
I think it was at least 10K to get in the game. So, like any good technology, they're becoming more accessible. The price is coming down, and this is something that you can really easily fit into most backyards. It's got its own cooling. It's got its own filtration. Man, I would love to have one of these. Unfortunately, I'm in a
Hmm.
condo. John, you've been using cold therapy for a long time, so you've got a ton of
Yep.
experience here. But I can't wait to get one of these things.
Yeah, I mean they did a great job. I think just aesthetically. I mean, it looks amazing. It's very comfortable to be in. One of the biggest drawbacks between the cold plunge, if you kind of jerry rig your own, you have to keep changing out the water. You have to filter it. It becomes kind of a challenge. This one, I think they hit all the right spots where it drains properly. It filters. You have the ozone aspect. It's aesthetically pleasing. Another thing too is that with this one, because the water circulates, it's actually a lot colder than
Yep.
if you were to jump into just like a general ice bath. So, you can kind of cheat with the ice baths if you don't move, but if you get in this thing, I mean, it feels a lot colder than your average just static ice bath. And I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
as you get
right.
older, these things like obviously there's a lot of science behind it, a lot of benefits, intracellularly. But if you are active and you're getting older, you get in one of these after like a long exercise session. The next day, you feel amazing. So the recovery, the repair, I think is by far one of the best biohacks out there. Is ice baths or cold plunges. So it was cool to see them
Even
there.
even better if you have it right next to your jacuzzi or your
Yep,
sauna, where you can do
your sauna.
contrast
Hmm.
therapy. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
So
do. I'll do sauna and jump into one of these. Uh,
yeah.
you know, you feel amazing. Plus, it's kind of a cheat because you're so hot from the sauna that when you get in, it's not uh, as painful, I guess, initially.
Yeah, so good segue. Sauna Space was at the conference as well. I
Mhm.
personally use this product myself every single day. I absolutely love it. It's what I love about this one is it looks nice, it's aesthetic, it looks like a really beautiful canvas tint. You
Mhm.
can move it It's portable as fast as you can set up, take down a tent. You can set up the sauna. So I'll commonly be using it at my dad's house, and then I'll move it if I'm going to somewhere where I'm going to take it for a couple weeks. So easy
Hmm.
setup, easy tear down. I use it as part of my sleep protocol. So I'll do red light through sauna space, and then I'll do jacuzzi, and then if there was a plunge available, I would throw that stack in there. John, I know you also use this product. We love these guys. We love their product. Easy way to get sauna integrated into the home that doesn't require you to like custom build anything, and just good people over there building good product. Your comments, John?
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, similar to yours, I think the benefits of sauna and more people know about now. I think with this product, it's a combination of near infrared, far infrared, which is significantly better than a lot of products out there. The fact that you can break it down and set it up easily, I think adds some benefit for people who travel a lot. To stay kind of centered and keep their biohacking routines that they're doing. So yeah, I mean, it's another great product. I mean, I've seen them for a long time, and it's just great to see them, doing well and still in the space. They also, do a very good job with the EMF aspect of it. So
Mm-hmm.
one kind of negative consequence of red light therapy can be EMF exposure, and so they have a way where they have EMF kind of blockers to help with that, which may not be a huge thing, but at the end of the day, we're exposed to so much EMF that why take on more? So it's a great product. Great to see them there, and I think also, I mean, a lot of these products are obviously somewhat expensive, but still within the range of most people's budgets. So this one is like in the 6,000 range, which is I think doable for people.
Awesome. Yep, and pairs beautifully with your plunge. John,
Hmm.
this one was crazy. You tried this one. I'm not even going to try to speak to the
Yeah.
experience, but what have these guys created?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the name says it all, the Immortal Chamber. So, I did get the chance to use this product or try it out, and basically, I mean, it combines everything that we use, every modality. So you have obviously the red light. They also combine kind of a vibration, sound, and then what is it, hydrogen. Nasal cannula. So the idea is basically like all these biohacks. I mean, the idea is that basically we're constantly stimulating our sympathetic nervous system just based on lifestyle. And so, how do you kind of balance that out with the parasympathetic? And so, they're trying to hit all the parasympathetics at once.
Yep.
And I mean, it's pretty awesome. So you get in, you basically have the hydrogen hooked up. You
Yeah, so you're lying
hear,
down here. If you're watching this and you're wondering what
yes,
the heck this is, you get into this
yes,
thing. You're lying down here. At the bed on the bottom and the top is infrared light. And then there's other
correct.
sensory modalities, music, sound,
Hmm.
etc., that
It's
are
kind of like a
delivered through the
guided,
through the chamber.
yeah, it's like a guided meditation. So they're talking you through it, working on your breath, slowing it down. You're getting the excuse me, the molecular hydrogen, which is a antioxidant. And then the thing comes down, and you have a lot of red light exposure. So ideally, you should be, nude or within a bathing suit. So I didn't get the full exposure because I didn't want to get arrested. But you do it about 30 minutes, and then at the end of it, when it stops, you really feel kind of like out of body experience. I guess is the best way to say it, where you feel light, you feel kind of out of it. I would say for 10-15 minutes, but definitely afterwards gives you an energy boost. Very cool product. I mean, this is probably outside the budget of most people. It's like in 150,000
Yeah, but
range.
it's going to be in
Uh,
these biohacking facilities. We talked to a
exactly.
gentleman that was going to have two in his clinic, so
Hmm.
they're becoming accessible through biohacking facilities.
Yep.
Unless
Exactly.
you've got some
But
serious cash and are going to build a nice couple $1 million biohacking lab in your own home. But just being able to
Hmm.
go into your local cryo or integrative practice, you might start seeing these pop up in some of the higher end wellness spas, that type of thing.
Yeah, and they also have a different product, which is the Catalyst, which is a PEMF device. Also, I didn't use that one, so I don't really want to talk about it. But this one,
Yep.
I think you'll see in high-end kind of biohacking facilities in the near future. And this was
Very
actually, I
interesting.
think, their launch. Yeah, this was their launch. So I know they actually sold out, or they were close to selling out at the conference. So there will be a
It
demand
just
for these,
looked
and
incredible. I mean, just
yeah,
seeing it,
that's
the
why I wanted
aesthetic
to
of
use
this
it.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to see this thing looks amazing, so let's try it out. So I thought it was a great experience. Um, so we'll see.
John, your favorite.
Yeah. All right. So I got yeah, I have an issue we need to talk about, but so one of our colleagues, Dean, who was at the conference, made fun of me because he said, "How is this a biohack? Why are they here?" So just strictly carnivore snack. They have all these different products. And basically, all they do is the meat and salt, and then they basically air fry it. I think these were amazing. I
I
think I
do too.
probably kept them in business. I spent a lot of money on this product. I think that's pretty much all I ate for 3 days. But and so Dean asked, "Why is this a biohack?" And I think it goes to the core of what biohacking is, right? So the most fundamental part of biohacking is nutrition. You can do all the other devices. If you're eating horrible food, it doesn't matter. So nutrition, I think, is the most important thing. Of that, what are you going to eat? So one of the issues that I think a lot of people have is they can eat well at home for like breakfast, dinner. They can make a lunch maybe for themselves, but on the go, there's there are products out there, but a lot of, especially in the kind of jerky range, it's very hard to find ones that are just without any kind of either preservatives, nitrates, or some
And
sort of like
they
soy.
ethically source
Yeah,
from farms that are doing regenerative
correct.
farming too with these guys too. So
Exactly.
it's the
Yeah.
ingredients. It's also the source of the meat.
And that's extremely important, especially now because of new technologies that are being introduced into our livestock. Yeah, that's one of the most important things. Regenerative, no HMO, no antibiotics. They know where the food is coming from, and then they don't preserve it with anything except salt. So I think it's one of the best products I've found, especially with kind of the jerky space. So
Yeah,
I
the
would highly
lamb was my
recommend.
favorite. I know we tried them all, but that one was clearing away the best of the lot for me
Yeah,
personally.
yeah, that was phenomenal.
Anyhow, this shit was
And
awesome.
they have a Wagyu also, apparently.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you're looking for healthy stuff when you travel, like I keep stuff in my backpack for when I'm on the road. These were incredible.
yeah, 100%.
So we're going to talk about a couple nutraceuticals. These guys just landed on our radar screen, Fatty 15. We did some research on them before we went to the conference, just looking at the different vendors that we wanted to talk to. And this is an essential fatty acid, and it's a C15 fatty acid. Really, it's looking at targeting longevity. And it's a new
Mhm.
product, a new supplement. We have not done a lot of testing on it yet. Personally, we have reached out to them to see if they want to do some research with us. I'm sure they've done their own, but a new nutraceutical that was present at the conference and looks very intriguing. So we're hoping to get these guys on the podcast, learn a little bit more about their C15 product, what it is, how it works. So, John, I don't have a lot to share on this one other than it's on our radar screen and more to come on this one.
Yeah, and I think I would probably leave it at that. I don't want to say too much about it because, again, I need to do more research into it. But it's
Same
just
here.
the only thing I would say about it is I think it's just on the paradigm shift of saturated fat, heart disease. Is there really a causation? I think the research now shows that it's not what we thought it was. And so the idea of maybe really focusing on healthy types of saturated fats, this is what they're trying to accomplish. So we should get them on the podcast and definitely talk to them in more detail.
Indeed. Same with these guys. This was another company that was at the show, and I love
Hmm.
oysters. I love just the natural package you get with iodine and the nutrients you get from seafood,
Hmm.
especially oysters. Obviously, they're expensive and they're hard to get. And what I love about biohacking is when you can actually just get access to some of the most powerful superfoods on the planet, but just be able to get them in a form that's far more accessible. Obviously, my
Yep.
preference is always to go have a plate of a dozen fresh
Hmm.
oysters, but that's just not
Yep.
always the case. Same with organ meats, right? Organ meats are
Yep.
another just incredibly powerful superfood, but they don't taste so great. They're hard to prepare. And if you can just get most of the nutrient density from these products in an easier package,
Yep.
it's intriguing, and you can get some really nice upgrades. Obviously, supplements are only as good as the rest of your stack. So
Hmm.
if you have poor diet, poor lifestyle, you're not training, you've got underlying issues, you can take nutraceuticals and not get the full effect. Now you have a clean
Exactly.
eating template, and you're getting proper sleep, and you know how to manage your blood sugar, and you've got things figured out, and you have a good base. You start layering in these fatty 15s and these oyster maxes and these other nutraceuticals. That's where you get the juice. So another company that we talked to, another company, more to come
Let me
on this
just,
one, but it was intriguing.
yeah. The only thing I would say about this one, which I agree with you is intriguing, is there is a depletion in kind of the trace minerals that we need. So things like zinc, selenium, iodine, some vitamin B complexes. A lot of the kind of modern farming practices really strip out those nutrients. And so,
Hmm.
as you mentioned, I mean, I think uh, if you're doing all the kind of poor eating and not doing the normal stack, it's not going to do much for you. But if you're trying to kind of get your immune system boosted, trying to get those minerals, it's definitely an interesting product. I've never seen anything like this from an kind of oyster basis, but definitely something I think we should look into and maybe discuss further with them and see if there is a fit between the two of us.
Well, I can say that part of the supplement stack I take daily is iodine. I take a couple drops in
Mhm.
the morning. I do take zinc. I do take copper. I do take B12. So I take all of those independently. But to
Yeah.
get them in the ratios that you get from a naturally occurring food product is probably equally good, if not better, because you're getting it almost like as close to Mother Nature's package as possible, but without actually getting the oysters. So these are
Exactly.
all things I take independently, but if you can get them all just in the way that nature intended it, maybe as good or better. Hard to say. Anyhow, again, I take a bunch of this stuff separately. I'm excited to try their product and learn more about their company. This was another really, really interesting product out there. What I love about this one is it's the first really well engineered nutraceutical that's targeting the inflammation pathway specifically. And they are targeting the inflammation pathways with CBD, CBDA specifically, magnesium, curcumin, omega 3. So, this is designed specifically to help you improve heart rate variability, which is like biohackers' number one metric for how well we're going to perform every day. So we
Mhm.
did do actual validation testing with this company. It proved out very effective, and I think it's just the first version for them. So this product, I would imagine, you're going to start hearing more about. It's again one of the first ones we've really seen scientifically targeting heart rate variability. And we did their
Mhm.
study. We had 20 people with Aura rings connected. We monitored HRV. We monitored subjective metrics. They had a good outcome. This is another one that's now in my daily stack. Uh, Doc, your comments here?
Yeah, I mean, I think what I like about them is their willingness to actually do the research to show that it works. And I
Absolutely.
think they're a setter in terms of this is what you're going to want from any product that you take in the future
Any
is
supplement,
going to
really.
be any product, but specifically supplements because a lot of the supplements are kind of case studies or very like um,
They're done on
subjective
the raw
data.
ingredient, and then they
Yeah,
just kind of say,
or
well,
they're
the raw
like
ingredient did X, so our product does X.
exactly, exactly, or they do kind of survey studies and say, hey, how did you feel? So it's very like subjective, where you can modify the research in any way. But now with kind of this as an example, you're looking at objective data. So it either
Hmm.
works or it doesn't. And
Yep.
using our platform, obviously they were able to collect the data, but the data showed that their product improved HRV. So I think that's going to be the future of supplement nutraceuticals. Any kind of product that is going to make claims will have to show objective data like this. So I think it was a cool study to be part of, but it's really the beginning for that industry.
Yeah, hats off to Don Moxley, Daniel Dietz, and the whole team behind this product. They did a
Yep,
fantastic job.
absolutely.
The next one is the Neck Nest, which is a specifically engineered pillow, and the pillow is engineered to reduce sleep apnea, sleep disturbances. It's also meant to help increase vagal tone while you're sleeping by optimally aligning head position. And it looked amazing. A lot of us actually have vagal tone issues and sleep disturbances because of posture issues that we deal with every day. We may have these issues for many years and just not even notice it. Alignment issues. So I purchased one of these this year. They were actually sold out at last year's conference. And this actually really works to align posture, align head position, maximize vagal tone, maximize sleep quality. So the pillow is called the Neck Nest. John, I think you also picked one up, but just quickly, what it's designed to do is actually it almost tilts your head back. Your head is almost tilted back further than you normally would with a pillow. It's almost like it's hanging off the back of the pillow. So it just opens up the mouth and the nose, and not the mouth, but the throat a little more. So it felt a little unusual at first, but it kept my head perfectly aligned. So more on that here. But John, I think you picked one up as well.
Yeah, I did. This was probably one of my favorite people to talk to at the conference,
Yeah,
just because his energy was just
his
off the
energy and his
chart.
passion. The founder was
You
there.
could tell the passion. Yeah, the founder was there, and this is not a pitch for the product, but I mean, you could see his energy through the product, and you can tell why it's such a successful product. I have bought every single pillow out there because I can't get a pillow that works without having neck issues the next day. So I'm willing to try anything at this point. But I think more than just the pillow itself there's an educational component that they're rolling out
Yes.
to
Yep.
help people understand why it's so important. Because you can imagine, like, why would I spend X amount of money on a pillow? I'd just go get a random pillow. But a lot of it is, the educational component, how to sleep, how to improve your vagal tone, your breathing, etc. And I mean, the difference between a good night's sleep and a bad night's sleep, I think a lot of it has to do with, obviously your setup. So I'm excited to see. I mean, I've used it for a couple of days. I'm excited to see if it's going to make the improvement that I think it will. But I think it was, probably my favorite part of the conference was talking with Peter.
Yeah. So this is it. This elevated piece almost sits like under the back of your neck, so your head is almost hanging off the back of this pillow. So it's a different posture for sleeping. Mine's in the mail. Should be arriving shortly. Cool company, amazing founder, Neck Nest. Check them out. Couple more to go here. A few more to go. Essentia. This is our favorite mattress company. I've interviewed their founder CEO on the podcast, Jack. They make their mattresses 100% petrochemical free, using all natural, all organic ingredients, extremely high quality engineering standards, environmental standards. You're going to spend whatever, 6 to 10 hours a night sleeping in your bed. You want something that has very low toxic load, flame retardant chemicals, all kinds of stuff in there, keeps the environment optimal, and plus the mattress itself stays very cool, so it helps you naturally sleep at the optimal temperature. So just incredible engineering standards, incredible products and services. So these mattresses are the best. They are expensive, don't get me wrong, but if you're looking to have the best in terms of mattress quality, we love this product and this company. So John, comments on just investing in a good mattress as part of any essential health optimization program.
Yeah, I mean, similar to what you just said, I think if you think about it, you're laying down 7, 8 hours a night. I don't think I mean, I think people now realize a little bit more, but how much exposure we have to petrochemicals, and flame retardants, as you mentioned, are in majority of furnitures and mattresses. So if you think about it, I mean, if you're laying down for 8 hours being exposed to chemicals, that obviously is going to have significant issues, endocrine disruptors, et cetera. I think, yes, it's expensive, but again, you can't underestimate the quality of a good sleep and not being exposed to a lot of chemicals. Plus, I like the fact that it's actively cooling you because that impacts your sleep. It tries to block EMF, as I talked about before. So there's a lot of benefit from it. And again, I mean, yes, it's expensive, but how many mattresses have you bought that you're like, oh, this sucks, and thrown away? So at the end of the day, I've bought and thrown away so many mattresses to try to find one that does this. I don't have one, but I'm seriously considering investing in getting one for myself.
Yeah, the mattress and the neck nest pillow. I had a friend at the conference. She made a joke. She's like, I bought the Essentia mattress. It was, I don't know, $6,000 or $8,000 for the mattress. She's like, it's more than my car is worth at this point. And I'm like, actually, that
It's
might
probably
sound a
more
little
important.
crazy on the surface, but when you really boil it down, I would rather invest more in something I'm going to be sleeping in every single day, and that is
Hmm.
having a huge impact on how well I sleep and perform the next day, as opposed to a car. So if you're in that same situation, there's absolutely no judgment. I would totally invest in a top quality mattress as fast as I invest in um,
That's going to be the
other
future.
aspects of
It's going to be the future of people dating. It's going to be, I don't
kind
really
of
want to see your
mattress.
car. I want to see, yeah, what kind of
Yeah, what kind of
mattress.
mattress?
Yeah,
That's the new
exactly.
flex. The new
That's
flex is
right.
what kind of mattress do you have? Hey,
Exactly.
we want we want to give some love to Dr. Alan Bauman. He was at the conference, and he is one of the best in the business when it comes to natural hair restoration. His clinic is out of Boca Raton, Florida. This guy is incredible and extremely intelligent, and the best in the business when it comes to hair restoration. And he was there at the conference, putting his money where his mouth is, giving demos,
Hmm.
giving assessments. He stays at the absolute cutting edge of technology. So just a big shout out to Dr. Alan Bauman and his clinic. Comments, John?
Yeah, I mean, again, I think he had a huge team there, just really assessing people. Um, I think he's also very data driven, which is one thing that I like. They're using a lot of
Amen.
red light therapy to help augment the surgical aspect of it. Cutting edge, as you mentioned, which I think, aesthetically for men, hair is obviously extremely important. So I think he's obviously, as you mentioned, top top of his profession. Really cool to see him there. Really cool to see him being on the cutting edge of technology as well. Because a lot of doctors, we tend to not be very good with technology, or not embracing it as quickly as a lot of biohackers or average people would. He seems to take the opposite approach: is what can I use to make my service the best possible for my patients, which I respect. So,
Yeah, I've toured his clinic. I've been down to Boca. I've seen his 30,000 foot building. Every single thing in there is absolutely state of the art.
mhm.
So you're
Yeah,
absolutely getting the best when you deal with Dr. Bauman. One more
I'm
here,
going to be
John.
a
This was a.
patient. I'm
Go
going
ahead.
to be a patient soon. So,
I'm still hanging in there, man. 47 years is still hanging in pretty
yeah,
good.
man. I know.
Hey, one more here, John. This was a really cool startup company. There's a lot of companies on the market that are advertising a quote unquote biological age test, but these guys are doing it a little different. They are measuring it based on glycation, and uh, they had a really promising test. So I submitted my test kit at the show. We got to meet their team there, and we're excited to learn more about these guys. This is another one that we're just starting to keep our eye on, but they've got some interesting technology on how they analyze for biological age versus chronological age. So again, not a lot to share here other than we were intrigued and we're going to learn more about this company and we'll share more on these guys as they evolve. So not much else to say here, John. We'll have more coming on this one. But they've got some research on how they do their longevity testing and more to
Hmm.
follow here.
Yeah, perfect.
So I think that's it. That was our top 10. Any questions? We've got Carrie Green here. Carrie, hi, Carrie. Um, that was it, John. It was an awesome conference. Those are some of our top items. Some of these companies are exploratory. We'll be sharing more on them as we go. So check out these products and consider adding them or trying them and then potentially adding them to your biohacking stack. We met with all of them. They're all reputable. They were all there. They all had game. So just passing on some of the top stuff we learned at this year's conference. Parting shots, John?
Yeah, again, I mean, as I mentioned, on the intro, I think those conferences, while they may be a little bit pricey to get into, I think it's definitely worth the money because you're being exposed to the cutting edge in terms of wellness, health, technology, um, and I think it's really a great networking space for people, whether you're a
Yep.
professional or not. Just you meet some amazing people who are trying to, I think, really push the envelope in terms of health, but also just longevity, but connection with people who are similar minded. I don't think you could have put a price on that. So I thought it was awesome. I think we should do the one next year um,
Yeah. We'll be
in
there.
Dallas. So yeah, so great times.
Yeah. The next one you'll find heads up at is the Peptide World Congress. That's coming up in the fall. That's from the SSRP Institute. That's the Seeds Scientific Research Group. They're at the cutting edge of cellular medicine and peptide therapy. So we'll have a recap for you on that one. That one's not till later this fall. But shout out to Dave Asprey. Shout out to the Biohacking Conference. Shout out to all of our partners and vendors that were there. It was a great event. On that note, John, catch you next week, brother. Signing
All
off.
right, sounds good.